Welcome to the Carriker Chronicles, the People's Show. Check the pulse of Husker Nation, brought to you by DPS Concrete Construction. And this is my 6-year-old daughter, the baby of the family, Jordyn at Carriker. How you doing, Jordyn?
Good.
Are you excited for Thanksgiving? You ready to eat some turkey? You ready to play in the turkey bowl in our backyard? 10th annual turkey bowl. I got holes in this shirt. They're battle wounds from years of backyard flag football. Are you thankful for Husker sports, Husker football, for your family, for your dad?
Yes.
I'm thankful for you too. You're pretty awesome. All right. Is it all right? Well, hold on. Because you play some sports. What are you playing right now?
Basketball.
And what are you going to play this summer? I'm going to coach your team. Baseball.
Baseball.
And what did you play this fall? Soccer. Did you have fun?
Yes.
All right. Can we talk some Husker football now? We talk about Nebraska whooping the Hawkeyes rear end sideways, hopefully. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. If you are with me and you think that we need to do everything that we can possibly do to keep Tony White here as our defensive coordinator here at the University of Nebraska, then smash that like button. Now, if you need a little bit of convincing, check this out. Last year, the Huskers defense allowed 414.4 yards per game. That was 100th overall in the country out of 130 FBS teams. This year, they're averaging over 100 yards less. Wow, that's called a growth spurt. 307.7 yards per game, which is 15th in the country. That's quite a jump. And their scoring defense went from 77th to 19th. And one of the worst rush defenses in the country is now top 5 in the FBS. In fact, the 5th rush defense in all of FBS. So if you didn't agree with me before and you agree with me now, hit that like button. All right, real quick. Black Friday is loaded for Husker sports. Husker football versus Iowa at 11 a.m. Nebraska volleyball versus Wisconsin. It's the rematch. All right, at 3 p.m. Nebraska soccer at Stanford in the Elite 8 at 4 p.m. on Friday. Rooting on the Big Red the whole day on Friday. All right, now it was interesting. Thomas Fedoni, he had an interesting tweet, and I've noticed a theme with him. And as long as he uses it for motivation, man, I get it. I've told people I spent most of my career proving people wrong and a handful of people right, so I know how it can be motivating. But here's what he had to say. Thomas Fedoni said, and I quote, on Twitter, and I quote, or X, whatever it is, and I quote, "The ones who doubt you because they could never see themselves doing what you're trying to do will just make it that much sweeter in the end," end quote. Dude, I love it. Use it for motivation, but here's what I'd also say, man, just do you. Didn't he do the shush signal to a bunch of fans at Memorial Stadium earlier this year? All I'm saying is just do you, because true fans will always have your back no matter what. Now here's something I thought Husker fans might find interesting. We got a bit of a passing game. The forward pass was discovered against Wisconsin just a little bit. Chuba Purdy was 15 of 23, 169 yards, passing 62.5% completion percentage, a 132.6 rating. Now, this is the highest completion percentage by a quarterback this year for Nebraska. The third highest QBR this season, the most completions thrown in a game this season, the second most passing yards in a game this year, and the second highest yards per attempt this season. Now, I thought that was interesting. I thought that gives Husker fans a little bit of encouragement going in and facing this tough Iowa defense on Friday. But Shane Day, okay, I check comments. I check Facebook. I check X, still trying to get used to calling it that. I check it all. Shane Day on Facebook had an interesting comment. Okay, here's how he would fix what ails Husker football. And I quote, "Too many roundabouts in Lincoln. That's what's causing the problem. They are interfering with their ability to remember plays," end quote. I just thought that was awesome. All right, now, not everything is awesome. I try to keep things in perspective, being as unbiased as I can possibly be. Now, here's the thing. We have been hearing that this isn't really a typical year one under Matt Rule. So there's going to be a tweet that goes up. This is at Skurs News. And here's what it says, and I quote, "We have been hearing this isn't the typical Rule year one. However, after digging into the numbers, it is probably due to the level of competition played more than anything else. Year one at Temple, their opponents averaged 6.8 wins per opponent that they played. Year one at Baylor, 7.5 wins per opponent. This year at Nebraska, 4.8 wins. So it hasn't been the most brutal schedule under God's hot sun. In fact, Nebraska has technically only played one ranked team all year, and that's Michigan. Now, Colorado was ranked at the time we played them, and Iowa, who we haven't played yet at the time that I'm recording this video, will be ranked, okay? But technically only one ranked team at the time that I'm recording this video the Huskers have played so far this year. You having fun? You're doing great. Give me 5. Nux. All right, here we go. Now, Iowa opened as a 1.5-point favorite, which kind of surprised me. It wasn't more. I mean, they've got 9 wins. We've got 6. They're going to the Big Ten championship game. We don't even know if we're going bowling. As of now, Nebraska is a 2-point favorite. Make the world make sense. The over-under, okay, was tied for a record at 27 when the line opened. Now it's set a record at 26.5. Could it get lower? Yeah, it could, really. Then you got the number 17 team in the country in Iowa, 9-2, the Big Ten West champs, who are an underdog to a 5-6 Nebraska team, who doesn't even know if they're going to go to a bowl game, okay, and hasn't been to one in quite a while. The over-under is 26.5, and I'll be honest with you, that even seems kind of high to me, okay? And I do remember that Iowa beat Illinois 15-13, all right, and I think it was 15-6 over Wisconsin. Like some of these kind of weird scores, like this score could easily be 9-6, 6-3, 3-2. It's 2 good defenses versus 2 bad offenses. It's going to be ugly, it's going to be close, and it's going to be beautiful. Well, as long as Nebraska wins. Anyways, as long as the Big Red wins, it's beautiful, right?
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about. Now, it could be like a baseball game or a soccer game or a hockey score. The score is what I mean. Like legit, it could be 3-2 or something like that. And my wife even said to me, she goes, Adam, it could all come down to one big play. One big play could decide this game. Who gets the lucky break or who makes the big play? Okay. Now, real quick, be sure to check out DPS Concrete Construction. All right, check them out at dpsconstruction.net. Can I put that on? If you're a diesel mechanic, CDL driver, concrete finisher, and looking for work in the Omaha metro area, DPS Construction is the employer for you. Seriously, they are a great employer. This is too tight for my head. Can you put that on?
Yes.
How's my hair? I actually combed it before I came down here. All right, so I've got a plethora of stats that we're going to throw up on the screen because if I just sit here and read them, you might go to sleep. Also, you get to see these are a screenshot of my exact notes that I'm reading right now. So now you can see my wonderful handwriting. I once got a C in 5th grade, all A's and a C. Miss LaSalle was actually concerned that my dad was going to be mad at me, which he was, rightfully so. It's come a long ways, but these are my actual notes. So if you want to follow along, they're up on the screen. Iowa's offense is averaging 18.5 points per game, 121st in the country. Nebraska's offense, 18.7 points per game, 118th in the country. Iowa is averaging 245 yards per game, dead last in the country. Nebraska's offense, 317 yards per game, tied for 113th in the country. Iowa's defense is 7th in the country in total defense. The Black Shirts are 15th in the country in total defense. The Hawkeyes are 3rd in the country in scoring defense. Pretty freaking good. The Black Shirts are 19th in the country in scoring defense, allowing 18.73 points per game. Okay, the Iowa's 105th in the country in rush offense, which is that boggles my mind. Like, they don't throw the ball. Like, they run the ball. I've never seen an Iowa offense that low when it comes to rushing stats. The Huskers are 26th in the country in rushing offense, 186 yards per game. They're averaging. The Hawkeyes are 18th in the country in rush defense. The Black Shirts are 5th in the country in rush defense, giving up 86 yards per game. They're outgaining their opponents on the ground by 100 yards. How do we not have more wins? And neither team throws the ball very well, although Chubba Purdy, I didn't even write down the numbers for that. Chubba Purdy gives us at least the hope of being able to throw the ball downfield just a little bit. Now, here's a couple of quick game notes before I dive into my 4 keys this week for the game and my game prediction. Now, the Huskers, this is their 34th consecutive season playing on Black Friday with 3 consistent opponents over the year. We started out with Oklahoma for years. As we know, that used to be on Thanksgiving. Okay, then it moved to Black Friday. Then it was Colorado for years, and now it's Iowa. All right, another interesting stat, at least I thought it was, Rover Isaac Gifford has a team-high 75 tackles this year. All right, Gifford is the first Nebraska DB to record at least 75 tackles in a season since safety Nathan Gary had 79 in 13 games in 2015. Are you ready for the keys to victory?
Yes.
The keys to Nebraska beating Iowa?
Yes.
Do you think Nebraska is going to win or Iowa? Who you got winning?
I don't know.
Make a pick. Who you got? Nebraska, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. All right, the first key to the game. Let me shock you. Turnovers. Do I really need to delve into it more? Number 2. All right, be the better second half team. I tweeted it out. I put it on Facebook. I X'd it out, whatever you call it. I said we need to be the better second half team versus Wisconsin. Didn't work out so much. We got to be the better second half team versus Iowa. We got to be more physical. Okay, again, they're not a great running football team this year, rushing the ball. And we also have to make solid in-game and halftime adjustments. Pause for effect. All right, the third key, special teams. This is, as I said, 2 good defenses, 2 bad offenses, and my wife may be right. This may come down to one big lucky break or one big play that a team makes, and it very well could be on special teams. All right, and number 4, and this is a 2-for-1 in my opinion, because I kind of wonder, like, who's going to want this game more, Nebraska or Iowa? Okay, I kind of wonder how motivated Iowa is, and some people have laughed at me, but they're 9-2. If they win, they're going to the Big Ten championship game. They lose, they're going to the Big Ten championship game. Does it really matter to them if they win or lose? I don't know. Maybe it's a rivalry. Maybe it's Nebraska, so maybe they get up. But I've also had some people throw out the potential, maybe them resting some starters. Now, I don't think they will, but the fact that it's even been thrown out there, how motivated are they for this game? Whereas Nebraska, this should be their freaking Super Bowl. It really is. They're fighting for their first bowl game in over half a decade. And this leads me to the second part of this 2-part key. Husker fans, I expect Memorial Stadium to be rocking. You guys can make an impact. You guys can be a difference. This should be a legit home field advantage. All right, and no matter what, always remember, Iowa still has bad corn. I'm just going to pause so you can enjoy that picture that my wife's putting on the screen right now. Thank you to my wife for editing this show. She does a great job. All right, now check out the next picture. And if you're on the fence, you need to be more like this fan. And Nebraska needs to make Iowa fear Nebraska corn. All right. Actually, I got to give my prediction. All right, real quick. My prediction, and I have the under. Somehow, I have Nebraska 10, Iowa 9. And I'll be honest with you, if this was at Iowa, I would not predict us to win. If it was on a neutral field, I would not predict us to win. But it's in Memorial Stadium, and I think that's the difference. I'll be honest with you, Jacob got in trouble this week, so he was banned from making a prediction, as so happens with kids sometimes. So Addison, who beat me earlier this year, predicted Nebraska to beat Iowa 12-6. Now, here are my questions for you fine folks at home. Hit me up in the comments below. All right, number 1, and these are just yes or no questions, the first 2. Has this Nebraska football season been entertaining? I think it has. Number 2, will Nebraska beat Iowa? Again, just simply yes or no. Number 3, what's your favorite Thanksgiving Day tradition? Mine, turkey bowl in the backyard, 10th annual one. Having Thanksgiving dinner, going around the dinner, telling everyone what we're thankful for. And number 3, watching the Dallas Cowboys lose. Until next time, go Big Red. Thank you for joining me. And always remember,
For the bounds.